That and I just caught myself in the side. I was like, no. All right, what's going on, everybody? It is Matt here with What's Your Hustle podcast. I got Gus and Jose with me. We're going to chop it up a little bit, talk about business, right? See what we can get into as far as conversation and kind of see how they got into what they're doing. So I'll kick it off to you guys to formally introduce yourselves, kind of give a little rundown on what you're doing, and then we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. My name is Gustavo. I'm a co-founder of Vzion Productions.
Jose, co-founder of Vzion Productions as well.
Yeah, and so tell me a little bit about Vzion Productions. What are some stuff you guys have been getting into, have been working on? Any fun projects you have in the works? Anything along those lines?
Yeah, so we started doing just video like everybody else. I started specifically because I learned digital marketing first and got into that, and then I saw that everything was trending with Instagram at the time, which was photos, a little bit of videos, but it wasn't like that big yet.
Yeah.
But videos was my main focus of what I liked the most, I think, out of that, and the creative part. Watching Peter McKinnon and all those YouTubers, seeing what you could actually do, that's what inspired me to just be like, yo, let me just try this out. So, and save some money. I was first a foreman at a landscape company.
I got
Been
you.
working construction almost my whole life. Electricity, carpentry, all these different types. And then when I saw this and I wanted to do this, I was like, let me just save up some money. And we started right before the pandemic.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
at that time, I was actually working at a bank, right, coming after college. I studied graphic design and motion design. And honestly, me and Jose kind of came together and we're like, hey, bro, I'm not really happy with what I'm doing. Like, I would love to do this. And then we thought about it for a long time before we started. And then as we were starting it, the pandemic hit. So it was like, oh, shit, what do we do? Right? So we kind of like scratch our heads a little bit. And then we just put our heads down and we kind of went through this little arc where it was just like grinding
Learning.
and just
Yeah.
learning.
Intake of knowledge, like crazy.
Yeah, literally, man. It was crazy. He actually got the course with the money that we saved up and everything. He actually went ahead and bought a course where we first started to learn like how to.
Because it was like 4 months of like the pandemic hit. We had clients before we were going to start the company, right? We were doing gigs here and there and whatnot. $100 videos. We just started. Nothing like how
whatever you can
starts.
grab.
Yeah,
whatever you can grab.
And then we were like, yo, let's just do this. Let's go 100%. When we decided to do that, pandemic happened. So then everything was shut down. Everything was up in the air. It's fucking chaos.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 4 months in, 5 months in, I'm still paying bills. I'm still paying shit. So there was no like money left. There was only a couple a little bit of money left. And I come across the course, the Real Deal Strategist Club.
Okay.
And it was the mix between marketing and videography and how it can help businesses.
Sure.
And it mostly focused on corporate videos, right? And then I was like, yo, this is right up my alley. This is exactly like what I studied first before just doing videography 100%. And I was like, I think this is the best thing. I bought it, and I think we had like $100 left on the house.
So you were scraping bottom of the barrel.
Bro, literally, bro. We were like back to
that whole month, though, we just went
fully commit
100%
and that's
into like learning the course and then implementing it.
Yeah.
Right? The hardest part is the implementing part.
Yeah.
And our very next conversation was with this lady who has restaurants. Like, she had 2. She was opening up her 3rd one. It's called Java Nation, and she wanted a video. And then from what we learned from the course, like, this is a brand message video. We already learned also like how to have these sales calls and everything.
Sure.
Still, the most expensive thing that we sold was $200 video.
Yeah,
for this one, from the course, everything that we learned was like, you should charge $1,000 for a brand message video.
Yeah.
You should charge, and so I went ahead and told her the whole thing, everything we were capturing, how many days, all of that. And then we went to the hardest part for every fucking videographer is the price.
Yeah.
Right?
Pricing
and I just
is
told her straight up, didn't hesitate or anything. It was gonna, for this is gonna be $1,000. Is that all right with you? And then she was like, that sounds reasonable. And from there, we're like,
I need a cat.
works.
I need a cat because this man was shaking in his boots, bro. You can hear this man.
No, for
it's
sure.
$1,000, okay? And it was just a pause.
The longest
That-
pause.
bro,
the
that
longest
But when I
pause.
said it, I just said $1,000.
That pause was so fucking suspenseful, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just waiting, like, please say yes, please say yes.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, that sounds fine. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Bro, he looked at me and I looked at him. I was like,
We're on to something.
let's get it.
No, that's
It's where we
awesome.
at.
So let me backtrack a little bit. How did you guys link up?
We actually met in college. He was actually my sister's dance partner. He used to be in a dance team in Montgomery College, and my sister was also in it. And that's where I met him. We just met briefly, not really, just chopped it up.
So I started a Latin dance team in when we were in college, right? There was nothing going on like for that, like the Latin community in terms of dancing. And I had done dancing in high school, like when we went to like perform and whatnot. And so we was like, let's try it out. We started it there with a friend. I was the vice president of that, and I was also the person teaching. So I was teaching people like basic steps and everything. And so I met a lot of people through there, like a lot of Latin community.
Yeah.
I went to a couple practices that turned into parties somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow
Celebrating the hard work, right?
Exactly.
It's
On the weekends.
No, it
especially on
was
Saturdays.
to get money. So
it's to
everybody would
fundraise,
pay
yeah.
up. Like you basically throw a party. You
Yeah.
pay up $10, and then you're also gonna get us to teach you like basic stuff for bachata, salsa, merengue,
And like his mom would bring out like bomb ass food all the time.
yeah.
So it's
good.
And that's
Yeah.
how we raised the money because we were going to this competition. So we signed up for this competition called DC. Like it's DC Bachata Congress. They hold it once a year.
Okay.
And we were trying to get in there and perform, and so you had to pay up obviously to get in there. It was a 3-day event. You stayed at this hotel, and from like 5 in the morning till 2 in the morning, you're just dancing the whole night. There's workshops from like 8 a.m. all the way up until 2 p.m. And then there's a break. Then there's going to be another workshop. And these are from people coming from all around the world teaching how to dance. And you're staying at this hotel. So then after that, there's social dancing. Whatever you learn, go to this social dance now with all these people.
Implement
and
implement it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Learn, implement.
Yeah. So that's
Story of your life, right?
Yeah. And so my dance partner was his sister. And then that's how I met him because she brought him to these things. Right. So then, yeah. Then I didn't know that he was a creative, that he was studying graphic design and everything until I needed a job. And then he was like, yeah, I do that. I was like, let's do it.
I'll show you what I got.
Yeah.
And then the rest was history.
Yeah.
I'm always been creative. I'm that type of person. I've been creative from the get. Like even when I was like going through school, I would like freelance just to like get like a couple $100.
Yeah.
You know, just to get me by. Stuff like that. I would draw a lot. I actually know how to sculpt as well, and paint and draw. So
See,
like,
I'm learning so much.
I like to like dibble.
I'm
dabble
not going to
like,
implement any of this, but I'm learning a lot.
I like to dibble and dabble, but the good thing is like when I was doing 3D art and design, like there's a lot of stuff that correlates to even filming. Like you have to know about lighting, exposure, because then you also have like digital cameras that you can maneuver. So I kind of got into that a little bit, and I also love like watching movies, but to really analyze how like the picture that I'm seeing impacts me.
How is it the way that
exactly.
it is?
I'm like, yo, I'm always breaking stuff down when I watch films, and I'm.
So
like,
you guys do it too.
Yeah.
So like whenever you
get
like
out.
watch, so like, my wife and I joke about this all the time because she does a lot of it. She's in the medical field, so she watches we'll watch Grey's Anatomy, and she's like, that's not real, and I'm like, way to ruin it for me. Like what? And I'm like, it looks real to me. One, I'm also like, my stomach is turning because I'm not a big like medical person. I don't like the whole like gory and everything. And I'll do the same where I'm like, oh, did you see like I'll almost like look for like little things that you see like in TV shows, like, oh, his tie was adjusted, or like the coffee mug was moved when it was from one cut to the other, like little things like that. And like, so like I'll see, or like, oh my God, look how this is framed. Look at the perspective. Is it like, so I'll look at it from like a filmmaker's perspective, and like I'll talk about it, and I'm just like, she's like, it just looks good. Like it just, and like
I didn't even notice it, honestly.
yeah, but like it almost, and there's some things like I pick up on like lighting, different lighting techniques and everything, where I'm like, man, like that is what I would give to be on the set of this TV show or movie and see what it's like, because like That stuff is always fascinating.
There was one movie that was shot in all one continuous shot, and I forgot the name of that movie.
It's a war movie.
A war movie. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I know.
With the guy that plays Spider-Man. I forgot his name, Andrew.
I don't.
But
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that I was like, when I heard that, I was like, I have to
gotta
see this. I gotta see
on
this.
the video on YouTube where it showed the behind the scenes of how it was
Yeah.
done and everything. And there's many videos that also breaks down the behind the scenes. So when I found that too, I was like,
That's
dove
more
in,
interesting
it's
than the
just like,
movie.
yo,
Yeah.
let me freaking know this whole
Yeah.
So yeah, we met, and then we talked about like film and stuff. And he was like, "Hey man, I'm trying to start a business, and I need someone that has your creativity." And I was like, "I mean, yeah, fucking, let's do it."
Yeah.
I was charged of branding and doing like logo design. In the beginning, we were doing pretty well, a couple jobs like that. But you know, I started rotate and gravitate more towards film as well. So we kind of, you know, we decided, okay, we're not gonna implement this fully because then we're gonna be splitting piece at that point, right?
Yeah.
So we gotta do an equal push to one direction. So that's why I was like, okay, let's just focus on this film because I also love with it. I'm in love with the creative part of it. So I can sacrifice that and help somebody out because I have met a lot of dope ass graphic designers out there, and I was like, if I can give them jobs and work and network, I'll be happy because I know I'm helping like that community, but I'm also doing what I'm love doing.
Yeah.
So whenever it's like somebody comes with a problem, a client's like, hey, I need a logo. I'm like, I won't say no, even though I don't personally have time because I know I have people that
You have a network.
will kill it. Yeah, we'll
you
kill
have people
that
that you can.
exactly.
No, I get that. That's actually very similar. So like when I first started, I was trying to juggle photography and videography, doing both because I love using a camera.
By the way, they're two different beasts.
Oh my! I don't think people realize that. I have no problem taking pictures. I actually I still have like family portraits that I'm still scheduling out because it's people that hit me up or wanted me to work with them when I was first starting, right? When they were like, I'm pretty sure I told them, congratulations, you are officially my first client. Like, and this was years and years and years ago, and they still every year around the same time they reach out to me and they're like, hey, ready to do some fall pictures, and I'll never say no because they were willing to go with me to use me when I was fresh, you know, on the scene. So I'm like, absolutely, yeah, no problem. But am I actively searching photography stuff? Not really. I like video way more because the same thing, right? The lighting breakdown, and you get it with photography. I think photography, and it's going to be a big,
you're focused more on composition, and then I think in film it's like focus more on like what is it that you're trying to portray to the audience at that moment.
And that's exactly so. Like with, I'll quickly go into like weddings, right? And it's funny because I just shot a wedding 2 weeks ago. I was second shooting, and we were struggling with light. Not struggling. We had to make adjustments, right? ISO, really kind of hone in on the the different things that you can adjust, right? And then also throw up a little bit of lighting if you need to. And it was one of those where, like, in the back of my head, I was like, man, photographers have it easy. They just throw a flash on the top of their stuff, dial it in a little bit, and just let it fly. Whereas, like, I can't put a flash on top of my camera. Like, you can put a steady light, but like,
it won't look pleasing.
It doesn't. You look at the spotlight look. It's not. It's a whole different beast. And I don't think people realize that it's two different things altogether. I enjoy both of them, but spam with the random. I'm telling, like, it is crazy.
Especially when you're a business owner, bro. It's like your phone is already out there. So
I think that's what it is. I was actually talking to a couple people yesterday about it. About like, it's tough because you got to put your information out there. But now your information's out there for everybody, and it's just like I get maybe 10 or 15 calls a day.
Same thing with spam emails, like to our website, to that everything.
So fast forward a little bit, you guys decided, okay, we're going to start a videography business. You talked a little bit about the courses that you were taking and what, gaining that knowledge. How did you guys get into like, okay, like, was it like, all right, that's it. From this day forward, we are going to start marketing, start reaching out, start trying to get clients, right? Or was it kind of like, all right, let's kind of learn a little bit, take on a client, regroup, learn a little bit, or did you just go, nope, 2 feet, we're jumping in, we're going in, and then you kind of like learn along the way?
I think it was a mixture of all of that. It was like, okay, let's just jump straight in, and then as we jump straight in, we're like, okay, cool, we're learning more and more and more. So that's where we took the time to even learn even more. But then jump back in again and then get more clients and then like be actively looking for networking opportunities, because we have found that having a network is more important than just like outreach.
Yep.
Because of like our first client actually recommended us to another client, and then that client, because of the work that we were doing, we got to work with another client, and just like that, and then next thing you know, it's like 5 different clients all lined up
and just
snowballs. Yeah,
that's awesome.
while planting small seeds.
That just kind of shows like how well you guys are doing in a sense of like, so like if you work with somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, I gotta put you in touch with so and so, or I gotta put you in front of this person. Yeah. That's like the ultimate like compliment. Yeah, like that's like if you like my stuff enough that you want to put it to somebody else, that's like you can't write a better review. You know what I mean? Like if you have somebody, and you can get like obviously you guys get reviews and do that, you know, that push a little bit to kind of, you know, brand and market yourself and everything. But like having the idea of like somebody's like out there marketing for you, like pushing your name out, that's awesome. Yeah. And to have it go from jump to jump to jump,
and one
it
thing
just
that
shows.
Gus and I always talked about it. I think our best part about the business was the people that we met. Like we genuinely just always wanted to do the best that we can for them. Yeah. Right. And then not just for the video, but also like build relationships with them. So we would even like take our clients out to eat or anything, hang out, stuff like that.
Build a business relationship with them, and I think that goes a long way. And I actually, you know, kind of, I guess we can kind of side street really quick. So we got connected through a mutual Facebook group. Yeah. And I don't think we realized we were as close as we were because we talked a little bit, messaged back and forth, and then I think we kind of were like, all right, where are you out of? And then
the first time I messaged, I think was in a full-time filmmakers group. I was like, I wanted to meet any like videographers that are around Maryland,
at least in the East Coast, or And I was doing the same thing because it's not popular around here. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just the area.
I think the thought of California being like a big hub for like different little indie production companies drives that. Like, oh, if I need to make something big, I gotta go out west, right? But it's like that leaves like a blue ocean on this side. But what you got to think about is 2 different markets, right? So on the east side is mostly entertainment. You have Las Vegas. You have all those big expos going on down there. Yeah. But over here is more like the medical side, the technology side, and stuff like that. So you have to kind of understand your market to understand what is it that you want to work for as well.
Yeah, and it is true, like that West Coast, like, oh, I'm going to go out west, or I'm going to go to California, become a movie star, or whatever. You know, there was somebody that I shot a wedding with last year, and he does a lot of stuff in Atlanta, and he was like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's like,
for
it's
music
crazy.
Is very big.
Is music, the TV industries is picking up in Atlanta as well.
Shout out to Tyler Perry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a huge driver.
Yeah, and that's exactly. So it's like crazy to think about. Like, yeah, you can go, but you can find some decent stuff on the East Coast as well. Yeah, so like we got connected and we just were like, yeah, I think I even came to you as like, hey, I got somebody that's looking to shoot a large amount of content, and I kind of was like trying to piece it together. So like to kind of answer my question I asked you guys, I was just going by the seat of my pants for a good bit, right? It was one of those where I was like, I'm just going to take on what I can. I'll work through it. I'll learn as I go. And then I think right around the time that we got connected is when I was like, all right, I got to take a step back. I got to get my feet under me a little bit. And that's where you guys
at that time that we connected with you, we're actually in a pretty good place because we were coming off, honestly, we were reaching, we're still going up. And that was honestly where we started to grow exponentially, because we went from, I'm telling you, we started this company in the pandemic. We started in his room. And then from there, we moved to the laundry room downstairs in the basement. I'm talking about like a 6x6, literally like a little square. And then from there, we have a mutual friend, which is Kevin. And he also started his own business. And he finally stopped subleasing a gym and opening his own gym. And he was like, hey, I have this office. If you guys are willing to come in and do our content, kind of like a change of services, we do their content, and they give us a little space to be outside of
I told him about that.
Yeah.
So I told them about it because I was like, yo, they're opening up their spot, and we helped them out. and then we're like, oh, we have this and this, and then I talked about it, but he had already thought about it as well, and so it's kind of a mutual thing.
Yeah.
And this guy Kevin, shout out to Peak BT, Kevin was the first guy that I ever did a video for. So when I first got my camera, right? This is before I started working with Gus. Before I got my camera, I was still studying like full-time filmmakers.
Yeah.
I got my camera and I was like, I need to put it to use, right? And I was taking some photos like here and there, not for anybody, just on my own to practice. And I saw on IG that he put on his stories that he started his company, like doing personal training. And then he was doing motivational Mondays, all this stuff, and he was like asking people, what else do you think I should do, like in terms of content? Right, everybody was posting photos at the time, and then I was like, "Hey, brother, love to I love hearing that you just started a company. I'm learning videography right now, so if you don't mind, like I would love to do some videos for you, completely obviously on me.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get the experience." And then he was like, "Hey, I mean that'd be awesome, bro. Like let's meet up at this Starbucks." I lived in Frederick at the time,
Okay.
and he was all the way in Rockville, Maryland, which is about maybe 40-minute drive, right?
Depends on 270,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Traffic.
Yeah, really depends. But so then after my job, mind you, I work like 10-hour shifts, so I'm from 6 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. And then I drove over there to meet with him like around 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Met with him. We talked about it. I knew him through soccer in college. And then his story was that he basically started his company because one of the biggest things for him was that he had a lot of talent. Like he was really good at playing soccer, but like he was like, I wasted my talent. And the biggest reason was because even when I played for like college, when I go to practices, I just messed around and everything. I never really took practice
focus.
serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, never took practice serious. And the reason he was like, I always did that. Like I never took practice serious, but when it came to the game, I performed really well because he was well talented. Like he's really talented.
Yeah.
And so I never had a coach really bench me because they needed me. And so I never had to work hard to be good. And then he was like, but now I think about it because he suffered an injury during MC and he didn't really recover fully. He had to get, I think, some studs in his ankle, right?
Okay.
So he's like, I never really got to recover fully, didn't understand the whole recovering process. Then he got into the health and fitness industry, like learning in school. And then he was like, I wish I didn't waste my time not actually training and doing what I wanted because he actually wanted to go professional.
Yeah.
He got to play semi-professional, and that was about it. And he was like, imagine where I could be if I was professional, right? And so
Yeah.
I want to help other athletes with my company who are actually trying to become professionals and help them out through the recovery process.
That's a very good mindset as far as like, you know, and it's tough because like there's a lot of things even in my career where I'm like, man, what would have happened if I really would have. The one that I talk about the most, and it's half joking, but sometimes I really think about is like, so you remember when YouTube was like nothing? I mean, just like it was like an app on the iPod that not a lot of people use. Remember, it would look like a TV. That was the app.
Legit looked like a TV.
Yeah.
I remember.
I was putting stuff on there all the time.
Look, it was kind of blown. They switched the icon because
I liked the OG one. Yeah.
I loved it.
So it was one of those where like I was in like middle school or even the beginning of high school. I was putting. I'll talk about it. I was putting. I'm an amateur magician. I know card tricks and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So like I would just put videos up there of like just like random, like, you know what I mean, like, and then it was one of those where it's like, I don't know why you're doing that. It's like, and not just other, you know, other people, other kids, you know, and it was just one of those was like, oh, well, look at that. And now I'm like, fast forward 2023, and there's people making millions, if not billions, off of YouTube and content and this and that. And I'm like, if I just would just, could you imagine if I would have stuck with it? But then I think about like, I wouldn't have been where I am now. Like the people that I know, I probably never would have met. I never would have done all the different things I did, enjoyed all the different things. Like my story is the way it is. Now I fast forward, I'm like, now that same drive I had as a kid, I'm like, I'm doing it now. Like I want to be creative. Like I'm a creative person. I like to draw. Same, like I've never like done any type of like clay or molding or anything, but I feel like I would be halfway decent at it, or I would at least enjoy it, right? And like that's why like this is the biggest thing. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is it.
Yeah. Like I said, we were kind of on the rise when you contacted us. used to kind of backtrack.
Yeah.
So we moved into his. He offered us a little office space.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally another. But this was a little bit bigger. It was not 6x6 no more. We had a little more wiggle room, so it was more like a 10x10. And then we were there for about a year, helping them out with their social media content, and while also looking for more clients. But honestly, that put us up a level, because now it was not just me and him in a room. We had people that were like, we will see like hustle. Like I'm talking about, this man will like be at the gym at 5:00 in the morning, like already working, like, and he will have like 12-hour shifts. So it's like seeing that could be like really contagious. So that
stay till 8,
It
9 p.m.
motivates you.
It
like,
motivated us to do.
It's one of those like
hustle.
I don't think people like, because back when I was working out of my house, like I'd work all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hang out, see my wife and my daughter, like hang out with them, and then like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm back at it. Like, and like that drive, and like sometimes I catch myself staying up until like 1, 2, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning.
You and I had a scripting call.
Yeah,
Remember that? Yeah.
at like 1 o'clock in
it
the
was
morning.
Just like, hey, bro, what you working on? Oh, I'm working on my scripts. How do you go about it? And I showed him like our process, how we go about it.
And
it's
it's
like,
just,
bro, this is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And then it was like, yo, I'm almost done with everything. It's
Yeah.
like, it's crazy.
And then it's one of those where like, but that grind, right? Once you find that thing that you enjoy, I never, like, I'm always thinking about it. Like, I think that's what people don't realize is like, I'm locked into the conversation, but I am always got my mind going on business.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I love it. This is,
game.
I find like, my wife and I talk about it all the time. And it's like, cause we met at college, and we were kind of the complete opposites in a sense of, I went to school to play sports. Like that was, everyone talks about, oh, go get an education. When I graduated high school, they were like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to go play baseball. Like that is what I want to do. Right. So that's what I did. Fast forward a year, I was like, oh, I guess I got to go to class or I'm not going to be able to play baseball. And it was one of those, like, I was like, all right. And then, we met, and she kind of knew like what she wanted to do. It changed a little bit, but overall she had a goal and she knocked it out of the park. Right. And then it transitioned a little bit. She went from one degree to another, still in the same general area. But I guess she kind of honed in on what exactly, right?
Yeah,
in the medical field.
To exactly what.
Exactly. Right. And now she's a nurse, and like she's doing great things. Like I brag about her all the time. Whereas me,
Nurses
I was
got
like,
the hardest lifestyle, because when they're on call, man, their shifts are long.
It's just and she's had different types of shifts. She's had on-call schedules, this and that, and like it's a whole, like, hats off to him. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at all.
Either.
And so now for me, on the flip side is like, I was the complete opposite. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I graduated and I was like, all right, now what? Like I went and got like a job.
That's literally what happened to me after. Yeah. Even though I have like graphic design and like motion graphics, I'm like, I graduated and I took kind of like a year. I'm like, shit, so what do I do now? And that's where I went to get like the bank job. And I was like complacent. I was getting good money. I was like, okay, cool. I talk to people. I love helping people like financially, like understanding their current state. But it was not like, the other half of it was not really fulfilling me. And I was like, I need to make a change. And that's when we started the company. So it's like, either I jump forward all in or nothing. Because if I'm not going to do that 100%, then no one's a point.
Oh, yeah. We jumped in, like, completely. Like I said, I left my job and then just went 100% on the business. And the only one client that I had was, like I told you, Kevin, from the beginning. And it was not paid. It was just me learning the craft.
Yeah.
And so after that, I was like, I learned enough, right? Like, I think I can go get some clients. And that's when we left that. Went 100% in. I went in before. He was still in his banking job for, I think, 2 months after that. And then he went 100% with me too, to start everything. And I was like, hey, we already got an LLC. Like, I started the whole thing because I had already left my job and I was done.
You're like, I need.
Yeah. I was like, I cannot do this
It's
anymore.
interesting to, like, once you kind of have that fire behind you, like I need to do this.
Yeah.
And I can't speak from experience because I'm still working a full-time job and doing this on the side. Luckily, my schedule allows me to be able to do things like this and run a business. And I think, like, that whole thing in general is, like, my schedule is, it's jam-packed. But I think it gives me a safety net, I think is how I described it to somebody. And like, yeah, I would love to move away from that, but at the same time, I'm like, I think I can.
You can't. I mean, and plus
I can't.
You have a kid as well, so you
Yeah.
have to have something secure for them. So it's like understandable, but like
Yeah.
for us, it's like we didn't.
We
Really
talked
have,
about it.
Yeah, we didn't have shit.
We didn't
so
have
it's like,
kids. We didn't have a house.
fuck it.
Like
Yeah.
big bills to pay up.
Yeah.
And we're like, yo, this is gonna be the best time for us to do
Get
it
your
because
feet on the
then
ground.
later on, like we don't know what kind of responsibilities we're gonna take later on or what's gonna happen. So like, let's do it now.
Yeah.
Right. Let's just go 100%.
Fully commit.
And that's what we did. While I started, I got the LLC, everything ready, put his name. When not, I was still trying to get clients at the moment. And when I had jobs I signed them up for the weekends. Remember, I was in the dance team, like I said. That the lady that the teacher, then we went to film for her.
Yeah.
And because obviously I had contacts through that, and she was like, "Oh, you do video?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so then got into it. I took him to the job, and then we both like were figuring out, trying to see how we're gonna do this
I
shit.
also like to get money. I started working on the weekends for this taco truck because I wanted to open on my own taco truck. So I'm like, let me learn from somebody that's been doing it. And I found this Mexican dude on Instagram, and he was popping. I was like, yo, let me hit him up because I was talking finances with him for quite a while because he was trading a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, let's just chop it up. And I went to his restaurant. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to take over this food truck. Like,
How'd you meet him?
oh, how did I meet him?
How'd you meet him? It was after the dance video that we did for the lady. So after we did the dance video for her and her team, that day the girls that were performing, they invited us out to go have drinks.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
And so then we're like, whatever, let's go and go have drinks and just dance at the club.
Yeah.
And so then we go with them. Women have it easy, bro. Like they literally just walk.
We literally walked in behind them like it was nothing.
They
No
got
waiting.
in and they were like, "Who are you guys?" I was like, "What were them?" And then they let us in.
There was, I mean, there was like what 3 or 4 girls.
They had a VIP table. I don't know how they got a VIP table. So
He was celebrating his birthday, his boy's birthday,
That's how
and
you
his
met him.
birthday. We met up because the girls gave us like shots. They're like, here, take shots. They just grabbed the bottle of like the table, just poured like some big ass cup.
So there's VIP table.
This
and
much
his
alcohol,
VIP table.
this much chaser
Yeah.
on the
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
drink.
And so they were trying to obviously holler at the girls.
Yeah.
Right? And so they're like, "Yo, you guys can have drinks, whatever. Just it's on us." And the girls were grabbing drinks, and then and the other girl that I know, she grabbed some for us, and then she was like, "You guys can take some." And then we were taking it, and he was like, "Why the fuck
Hey,
you guys
yo.
drinking my drinks?" Right?
Yeah.
He's like, "That's for the girls, not for you."
Yeah, that's
I
funny.
was like, I got handed this. My bad.
That's how we started. Like it was already on the wrong foot.
on the wrong footing,
and then
bro.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't even respond to the guy. I didn't really
But
care.
5 minutes later, my boy was like, yo, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
Really?
You
Yeah,
know,
bro.
and it's like you
That's
start-
crazy.
then
I'm
you
so
like, yo,
good at
let's
talking
drink
to
together.
people.
And
Yeah.
so they're both Mexicans,
Yeah.
right? And then they were started talking about like the taco truck and the
truck, yeah.
tattoo guy about that, and he just started conversating with them.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I turn around. This man is already like
I
Yeah.
told,
friends
I
with them.
told him that I was like, "Yo, I want to take over your truck. I think this is dope. What you're doing here." And I the way I did it, bro, I cooked some tacos of my own, like the shit that I make the best. And I was like, "Yo, try this."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Yo, this is bomb." So I was like, "Yo, bro, just give me an opportunity." So I went to help him as he was about to open his first location, and that humbled me quick, cause that, bro, hats off to him, bro. He's a fucking beast when it comes to the kitchen.
Really?
It's, it's a lot of prep work, bro. Like you don't see this shit. Like he's in there at 5 o'clock in the morning cooking
Just
already for
grinding,
the
yeah.
day, and I'm like, damn. And it's a food truck before opening his restaurant. Right now, he's opening his 3rd location. He's
Really?
opening his 2nd and 3rd at the same time.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling
Must
you.
be.
And he's in the Audi field. He's been in like boxing events, like sponsored and stuff like that. This guy is doing it.
That man
No,
taught
and
us
that
a lot
I mean
about
that gives you like, it's not directly related to what you guys are doing now, but just like seeing how like the business, right? Because like, I don't think a lot of people realize is like there's layers to a business, right? There's the business, and then there's the business,
Yeah, but
right? There's what you do as a business, right? The filming, the this, that, whatever, and then there's the okay. Now I got to run the business. Now I got to do my I got to make sure the business is good so I can do the business. Like it's you know what I mean, like. So it's being able to see somebody kind of grind and push through and stuff like that, it gives you
it
like
inspires you, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, it inspires you, and because of like I build a good relationship with him. Shout out to David. Shout out to like Tingeria. We got so many opportunities. That's where we got our first big return client. he did a photo. He was doing a video shoot in his kitchen, and his brother was supposed to film the episode that they were doing, and he fell off last minute. He called me. He's like, "Hey, bro, I remember that YouTube video. You think you could be here?" They already had a budget for it, and I was like, "Yeah, bro. I mean, I just do it.
$500
It's $500
for like 5 videos, 5, 6 videos."
Yep. So we
Yeah.
pulled
Jumped
up.
in.
It was the he's meat producer, right?
Yeah.
He's the meat producer that gives him the meat that he uses in his restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started talking to him like, hey, we'd love to like do more videos with you guys. If you guys are interested, here's our information. Next thing you know, we're getting a call, we get in a meeting, we closed the deal.
This was our first retainer client.
First big retainer client.
That became our first retainer client. Was doing for this meat company. So
Chorizo company.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That was the first one.
and that's how it. I mean, you got to be ready.
Just snowballs have to, like I said, it's just people talking about you
And,
or
and
whatnot.
network, right? And getting connected and keeping, don't burn bridges, and keeping people, and just go have drinks with them. Not anything crazy like that, but like build that friendship, that relationship. Like, I feel like sometimes people feel like business is business.
We don't
want.
want
Like, you gotta.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes and no. Like, there's some situations, yes, right, but a lot of times it's like, if we can't be friends, how are we gonna work together?
Exactly.
Like, and yes, so
especially
like,
if you vibe with somebody, it's like awkward when they come in and record, and it's just silent the whole time. I'd rather like have a conversation. Hey, how you doing? How's have you heard about this? Just connect with people in a personal level.
Yep.
So that like, what's it called? That tension is not longer there, and it's more like, okay, let's get it.
Yep. And that's what. So like the person I was shooting with this morning, like I enjoy going in there and we joke around, we talk, I'm almost like, all right, bye. I guess I gotta leave now. I mean, obviously, like I'm getting out of there because I got other stuff on my that I want to do, but I enjoy their company in a sense of like they're cool, like they're friendly, they ask me how I am, they like, and that goes a long way because like this idea of like, I call it like the coworker syndrome, right? Like, oh, we're just here to do what we need to do. I'm like, it shouldn't be like that. We're like, we got to be closer than that because like you got to be able to be like, I want to be comfortable enough to say, hey, look, let's reshoot this. It's not good. Like let or on the flip side, like you tell me like, hey, I
wasn't feeling 100%.
I didn't like that take. Or I want you to be confident enough and comfortable enough with me to be like, let's try something else, or I like this or whatever. And it might not be, the technical thing, and maybe it will.
When in a creative business with like everything is like open to interpretation, right? Because like tonality is one thing, right? Because this is like we had a couple clients where like, hey, you're sounding very monotone. Like, I need you to fluctuate your voice, right?
Yeah.
And that could change the whole delivery of the content.
Yeah.
And it's like just guiding them through that and being comfortable to tell them, hey, like, you gotta sound like this or you gotta sound like that. Like, I need you to do this so it portrays more on your audience.
Yeah.
And being comfortable to do that to a person that you just met is really hard compared to somebody that you already have a relationship with.
And that's exactly, and being able to be like, all right, let's take a second, let's regroup or whatever it is, or just be like, you killed it, good job. Like, and know that it's coming from a genuine space or a genuine thought. Like, not just saying, oh yeah, it looks good, where's my check? You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I drive the most because like at the end of the day, like, yeah, I'm running a business, but at the same time, like, you look good, I look good. Yeah. So I want to make sure you look good. Like, I'm almost like, I want to not invest like throw money at you, but like I'm investing my time into making sure that like we're doing the right things the right way, right? Making sure it looks good, sounds good, right? It's got good delivery, right? Because what you don't want is stuff to come out half whatever, just like looks rushed. You want it to look good, and that's the thing. And you also want them to feel comfortable enough to say, look, it's not there yet, like, or it's there, let's go, or whatever the situation is. And I think that's a difference maker with a lot of people, is like a lot of people that try to do videography. And I'm not throwing shots at anybody. I'm just saying in general, you see where I see it more with photography a lot, because like, and I'm not no means anywhere like the perfect whatever, but I feel like sometimes people kind of just put themselves out there, which is great, but it's almost like you got to kind of get a little bit more under your belt, right? You can't come out of the gate swinging like that because sometimes it's difficult and you almost kind of put yourself in a tough situation.
There, where you can deliver what you set the expectation out to.
Right. And it's like really kind of figure out what you're doing, get the people skills down, get the communication down, because that's the biggest thing with a business is being able to communicate.
It's like it makes it at the end of the day, it makes it a little bit easier to have those tough conversations.
Yeah.
Because going into a tough conversation with a person that you don't really have a relationship, you're gonna struggle understanding their point of view.
Yeah. And knowing, like, look, they have a vision just like I do, right? Like sometimes it's you show up and you know they're like, hey, I know we had this plan, but I want to do this instead. Cool, let's rock it out. Let's see what we can do, right? And see how it goes and see what we can put together. Because like
also guiding them, because sometimes it's like being creative, like us being behind, like, you know, the powerhouse of creating their content.
Yeah.
And they're exposed to a lot of like, hey, I'm seeing this a lot. I'm seeing this a lot. I'm seeing this a lot. I'm like, okay, like that works for them, but for you, it's like like your vibe is a little different. But that might not work for your audience.
Yeah.
Good idea, but let's try to implement that in a different type of way.
Or
adjust it so it works for you.
Adjust it to what works for them.
Exactly. So it's like just guiding them through the correct loopholes or like trends. It's like key.
And that's what I like. The couple clients that I have on a retainer, I tell them, like, look, you have an idea, or if you have something that you look at and you're like, man, that's awesome. My line's always open. Throw it to me.
Yeah.
Let's look at it. Let's see how we can implement it. And there's things that we've done and we've got knocked out, and there's things where I'm like, all right, let's get it to the drawing board. Let's figure out how we can get it.
Let's try it one more time.
Yeah, and figure out how we can get it to work out for you. And like, but being able to communicate and have those conversations is huge. And I think like when you look back at like talking to a business owner for the first time and like having an awkward situation to start, and then go into like, all right, now we're building a friendship, right? Building a network, and now they're hitting you like, hey, I need a videographer now, and you being able to come in and knock it out of the park.
Yeah, we usually
it's all about.
We usually tell them, especially working with realtors, right? Because like things move quick, right? So they're like, oh, I have a settlement. Like, yo, whenever you have a settlement, that's a very special moment in your buyer's like journey.
Yeah,
that's the perfect thing to capture because emotions are high. They're all happy. They're all smiling.
Yeah, they just bought a house. Or they just sold a house. Like,
exactly. So it's like yo, whenever you have a settlement, call us, and if we're available, we'll be out there.
Yeah, and just make sure it was a smooth transaction.
Exactly.
You don't want to go on there like, yeah, everything is great. We finally got through it, but you know, no.
Yeah, the biggest thing that we learned too, like from our clients, is that we just learned recently was, yo, let's actually get to know them even more, like more in depth. Because the more you know them, the better you can create content as well.
Yeah.
Like one of our clients, she's very quirky. She's funny as hell and everything, but her videos are talking head pieces where she's giving out information.
Very formal.
And that's a different person that she also is. But I'm like, you have to connect the bridge between who you are to your audience, right?
Yeah.
And show them a little of you as a human being. And so we did one where she was like, what I keep in my car as a realtor. And then we did that video, and then that video blew up. Because she's like, we keep this. Bro, it was tape, rope, like zip ties. And people were like, yo, what are you
doing?
Yeah. You're about to commit a murder.
Yeah. But if you think about it, those are all things that a realtor might need in some situation.
That one actually blew up.
It blew up for her. Like, and
that's awesome.
I was like, it showed a lot of your personality, and it was everything's organic, right? And it was great. One of our realtors right now, the other one that we have, now he comes out a little more serious in his videos and how he's doing. But when you get to meet the guy, we went out for drinks with him and everything. Like, he has other interests. Like, I didn't know that he cooked. Like, he loves cooking, right?
Playing poker.
Plays poker. Like, and he's actually really good at poker.
Bikes.
And then his story, how he got into poker, was really great, right? And so you get more stories out of them. I'm like, that would be a great video to just connect you with your audience besides real estate, because real estate is what you do, but why people are going to work with you is who you are as a person, right? And that's what you want to bridge.
And if you make a connection, make a connection with somebody. Yeah. So, all right, let's look into the future a little bit. Where is there anything you guys got going on that's coming up a little crazy, or like where do you see you guys
Something
going?
we're thinking about a lot. It's recently was that the burnout. So we got burned out of the micro content side
Sure.
and what we're doing. We have a lot of clients, and I think it comes a lot from maybe our structure is not completely there where we want it to be, to like what we're doing in terms of we love video, but then the other part it's the posting side and do all that stuff.
Managing side.
The managing side, and we're like, that's not really us, right? That's not. So I mean, I do hire out, but I still gotta check for it, and
you gotta manage. You have to manage because
clients still ask us about it. Yeah, when is the best time to post? When is the best time to do this? And I know the answers, but it's also something that we're like, I want to focus on video. Like, I want to focus on telling people stories.
Telling a story, being creative.
Yeah, exactly. And so that managing clients and then managing our editors to the editors that we have, it's been a lot. I'm not gonna lie. And so and also something that we were like,
it's very repetitive,
man, we're doing
too.
very repetitive work that was like is good in terms of money wise. But is this where we're happiest? And we always have this conversation, like, how we doing here?
Yeah.
And we aligned in, we're like, bro, I want to take it somewhere else now. And we got to do that. It's great. We're going to keep the system. We're going to keep the clients that we have. But we want to transition now into something else. And also, what is that something else? And then we got into, like, okay, I really want to just help people tell stories and do the bigger projects, right? Like the bigger projects. Social media type of videos. It's not the same type of videos that you would have on a website that you're gonna have on YouTube. The longer form content where it's like short short documentaries and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And those type of videos of the companies actually telling their story. And we got through Muse Storytelling. Learned from them. We got the courses and everything to learn about how to tell a story and everything. Because that's the thing that I think we love the most. We did it for a couple clients, and actually getting to know their desire of why they started and everything, having the motivation for it, what's their why, and their unique, what makes them unique. Usually, once you figure out their desire and why they do it, you find out their uniqueness behind doing those things, right?
Yeah.
And so we're like, that's what we want.
That's what you want to do. That's awesome. Yeah.
So we're looking to move into that probably sometime next year. We're for sure thinking of moving to that next year.
We're also
bigger projects.
Adding. So the big question: adding it on, or I don't want to say rebranding.
It's still in the works. Like don't
even know. Just gonna see how it plays out.
This is like we're right now in the consideration phase where we're looking at the table right now. We're looking at all the chips and we're like, okay, so that takes a lot of our time. How can we reduce that, but kind of still keep it manageable?
Yeah.
So it can be consistently being done, but it doesn't require much of our time since we're going to be focusing on transition, right?
Yeah.
So we want to probably scale it down a little bit where it's manageable, it's self-sustainable, and then transition into that because those projects are a little more well thought of, more planned out, and usually a bigger budget as well. So
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, pre-production.
There's a lot that goes into it.
A week.
Yeah.
Before you even get to the video part.
Yeah.
You have to interview not just the main character, but maybe
supporting characters.
The supporting characters and everything else that you want for the video to help drive it, right? And so we're like, those videos are gonna like perform a lot better in terms of connecting the audience with the product or business.
Yeah.
And so we were like, okay. And the main reason we went to that too is because we just had a project that we did where we got to go to New York. Right, we got to go to New York for this. It's called QS Discover, and basically that company matches all universities, like top universities, with candidates, people who are looking to get their master's degree. Right.
Okay.
And so, and it was an event video that we went to do.
And they're global too, so they're not just here.
We went to shoot
so it was
a lot of fun. It was
video that you guys were making.
Yeah,
nice.
And it was challenging. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we're like, how can we make it better? Like, how can we connect this better? And so now we started learning about the psychology between the audience that they're trying to talk to, right? Really hone in and learn who are you trying to talk to.
Yeah.
Make sure that video, like, is directly speaking to this audience. So we created 3 avatars for them. This is a new format that we're doing now, right? We created 3 avatars for them. And then we're like, these are the 3 avatars that we found out that you have based on your website.
Yeah.
Where it's who you're talking to. And then the lady, which is the marketing director, she was blown away. And this was her first call, and you already created my avatar for my business, 3 avatars for my business. You understand that we're going for undergraduates, people in like trying to switch their career, midlife
Yeah.
different things, and international students
that want to study from abroad.
Yeah, from abroad, right? Yeah. So he's like, you already broke down this. You understand their psychology. You understand what they need to see, hear, and think before, like, to move forward with us. And it's based on that, then we create the videos.
Yeah, and that's what I don't think people like. We are definitely caught in a weird time right now for videographers. Yeah. Is that so many people want the short form content? So many people.
Honestly, I think it's becoming more saturated as we go on more.
Yeah,
and then people's expectations of like, okay, I could just do this myself, or it's easy, but it's like when you actually start to get down to the meat and grill of things, it's like it requires a lot of planning. It requires a lot of like staying on top of stuff.
Yep.
Because if you don't stay on top of it, stuff is gonna slip through the cracks, and then that's where you like crumbles, yep. And then people start to burn out, and they're like, man, I feel like I'm just catching up. I can't just keep up, and that's where they go to like companies like us to take most of that. To take most of that off their shoulders.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not a done for your service. I'll show you how to do it. Make everything easier for you. So you just come, review the script, you come in, you shoot your content, you're out within like 2 hours. You're out, and then you're done for the month.
Yeah, your whole month content, right? But everything. One thing that we tell our the business that we work with is like not one video is going to do all the job for every single part of your funnel, right?
Yeah.
And so micro content is a strategy that you're going to use to build awareness and everything, and it's good. And
but there's a whole nother layer, and I don't think.
Why would I pay for like $2,000, $3,000 for a brand message video when I can create a lot of videos for social media? And I'm like, they're different assets, right? So like this one is basically your company card, saying exactly who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and it connects you to the client in an emotional level of, because you want to put the emotion in there, right? Of why you started, the desire behind that, and if it's not you, then maybe how you help your clients, the testimonials, right? Like we charge a lot for those. Why? I mean, that's social proof that you're gonna keep on your website
for a long period of time,
and those are the type of videos that are gonna be there for years to come. You don't have to do that type of videos again.
I don't think people understand like there's a strategy behind micro content, and that's just the beginning, right? Yeah. That is the foot in the door, right? That just gets you in front of whoever.
That's just the icing because it looks pretty. Like you look at it, you can take a look at a cake, and you can like tell certain things about it. And you're like, okay, cool, I'm interested. Oh, I'm not interested. I'm interested, and that's what happens when you go through like different creators in the same market, or in the same niche. They're all different, but they're all cakes. You know what I'm saying? They're all real estate, but they all look different. So you're attracted to what that person is putting out.
And then just that next layer, right? That testimonial, that longer form content, whatever that is, that's what gets people hooked in. Like that's what, like, so you go micro to get you in the door, macro to really show them what you're about, confirm your knowledge, right?
Where are you on the micro content part?
Yep. And then by the time they're actually like, okay, I actually want to work with this person, half your cold call is done, is handled, is taken care of, because they already know who you are and what you do because you're micro, right? They already know you're good at it and have a social proof, right? Because you're macro. And now they're hitting you up and you're like, okay, ready to start working, right? And if you want to take it a step further, it saves time for everybody because then you don't have to go through the whole song and dance of, let me put you through the sales call, this and that. No, you see what I like this, I like them, let's get it going, right? And I don't think people realize like that's the idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's a study done that basically people don't buy until like any company has to make at least 6 to 9 touches points with their ideal client.
Not different
interactions with them. And that could be an email. That could be they saw you on social media. But just because they saw you once, it's not going to help anything, right? So then they have to, like, there's different touch points for your audience. And after the 5th one, you're still not going to get them. After the 6th one, your percentage is 80% higher.
Yeah.
Right? So every time it's just like, okay, various different touch forms. First, they got to know you. Now they got to know why you do what you do. You know, in different video strategy is just for different parts. They want to put all of that into one. It's like one video can't do all the work for
you.
And that's exactly that minute is not going to do it justice.
No, but I think with that strategy with the micro, macro, right, working through that funnel, it's a good tool that I don't think people are real. I think they see short form content as short form content. They don't see stuff after that, because I think it gets a little confusing with, like, if you're selling a product, short form content, you can kind of stick to that. You don't really have to do more because you can just put the product in the video, right? You can, but it's not like it's make or break. I think when you're selling a service, it's a little bit different. You have to show your personality, right? Because a product will sell itself if it's good, no problems. But if you are the product, it's your service that you're doing, you have to kind of incorporate your personality. And it's tough to only do that in a 30-second video, right? You have to kind of be able to show more.
Yeah.
So
that was perfectly said, honestly. Like, when it's really short, you have to put out your personality. It's just, especially if it's a service, because the level of, like, if you have a good experience with, like, a service, it could change your whole perspective on just that.
Yeah.
Because if you have a shitty, like we have actually a guy that we're helping out, Bobby. He started like an overnight travel bag product. So it's like a bag. So when you travel overnight, so it doesn't look like, it looks like very luxurious. It's like a luxury travel bag, kind of like Louis Vuitton.
Sure.
And Michael Kors, right? He had a bad experience with the videography company. That's why he like hit me up. He's like, hey bro, like, yo, this guy's kind of ghosted me. I give him a bunch of bags worth like $1,000, and he just ghosted me.
Yeah. And
then he hit me up, back up, because we actually, as a fun project that we did, I got us to like El Alfa, which is like a Latin Grammy-nominated, Grammy-winner artist, just by me sending cold emails. Just like, yo, I want to do this. Please just let me know if there's an opportunity. And he's the one that actually was like, yo, you guys want to do it for video? That's fine by me. Just, just share us.
Bobby got us in.
That's what's up.
So we got the opportunity. So a couple months later, we'll go by. He hits me up about this, and then now we're actually just doing a video shoot for him.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, it's exciting. I think we linked up at a good time. You guys definitely helped me a long way, right? You kind of, from my perspective at least, it was perfect timing because it was right in that moment where I was like, all right, I want to take a step back. I really want to kind of get a good system, get things in order, and now I'm implementing that system. And
I'm really glad it helped you a lot. So
yeah,
it has helped us a lot. So.
Yeah, just growing and networking and growing off of each other is huge.
Yeah, and congratulations on this beautiful space. Honestly,
yeah,
our work, it looks amazing.
It's definitely. The plan is to have a lot of content come out of this room,
for sure,
this office, right, and definitely there's things in the works. It's too early to kind of talk about, but there's things being brewed, and it's exciting. I also get an excuse to bring in friends and sit down and talk to them on a podcast, man. Like, and talk to them and pick their brain.
You'll be on our first episode for sure.
Love it. I'll bring the mics. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys giving me your life story in a nutshell of how you guys got started, where you guys were, how you guys got to where you are, and future plans and everything. I'm going to go ahead and link all of their social medias down in the platform, down in the description. You'll see all their stuff, business pages, the works. It's all going to be down there. Go check them out. Go check out their stuff. They do great work, great videos. I see your client stuff all the time because I think I'm on your stuff. So then there's the algorithms got us all together. But no, it's just, and you know it, that's how you know it works, right? But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming in, being the first official podcast of the new workspace. We got some things we got to tweak, but I think it was a good conversation, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us, man.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Man.
Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, we're gone. See ya.